Hi and welcome to Thriver TV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. It's so important to be vigilant if you have narcissists around you at Christmas time, because traditionally this is a hotspot time when narcissists cause untold trauma to many. People report it all the time, and if you've been in a narcissistic relationship for some time, you probably have a great deal of trepidation remembering just how horrible the narcissist made Christmas for you last year, and possibly many other years. Virtually all narcissists act out at Christmas time, except those who've secured new sources of narcissistic supply and are on their best behaviour because they're high in the idealised period. Narcissists have very universal ways to create these two agendas at Christmas time. One is to make it very unpleasant for other people so that they don't have a good time. And two is to find ways to hook people into emotions that bring the focus back to the narcissist. We know that hurt people hurt people. So what is it about Christmas that disturbs the narcissist so much that they are consistently behaving even worse than normal? Narcissists feel a dreadful and a horrible anxiety and unease at Christmas, because the entity Christmas being such a big deal is stealing his or her limelight. Christmas is about everyone, not just the narcissist. And so that means that he or she can't retain being the center of the universe. Additionally, times of joy, festivities, and sharing is a painful reminder to the narcissist of his or her own defectiveness and deprivation. And then the narcissist's feeling of being disconnected from being able to experience the feelings that everybody else can is accentuated at Christmas. This activates the narcissist's inner tantrum, the painful feeling of the void inside, which is terrified of going empty and hating that there'll be a focus on celebrations and cheer and, of course, others, which is all the things that rob the narcissist of their lifeblood. Narcissistic supply. It's all terrifying for the narcissist. Additionally, the narcissist suffers from the hauntings of the past, the trauma of an abusive birth family where it was likely Christmas was a terrible time, or maybe the narcissist was the golden child and spoiled to such ridiculous levels that he or she now is annoyed at anything that they don't approve of. So anyway, let's get down to it. Let's look at the 7 sneaky ways that narcissists make Christmas unpleasant. These ways are sneaky because often we don't see them coming. Narcissists can lure you into a false sense of security. Say one thing and do the exact opposite. Promise the world and deliver zip. Switch on a dime from pleasant to revolting, or do things in such a covert way that your head is left spinning. It's just what narcissists do. So with these 6 things, it's actually 6 things. I'm so good at getting the numbers mixed up. We had that in another release I did lately, okay? It's 6 things. That's what I want to give you today. Within these 6 things, I'm going to share with you stories of friends and people in the community, your clients, and they're also things that I've experienced. The names of people have been changed to protect their identity. And I'm sure that many of you will recognize these scenes intimately because you've experienced them. Number 1 is the narcissist doesn't help. Raylene was preparing for Christmas Day and she asked Ted to go and pick things up for her. She'd been working hard for the last week on Christmas doing the preparations because she was hosting 14 people and she needed some extra supplies. Ted hadn't helped her at all in the preparations, and then he begrudgingly agreed to go and get these things for her. Hours later, there was no Ted and Raylene was frantic because she needed things for tomorrow, Christmas Day. Hours later, she discovered that he was at the pub drinking with a mate. She pleaded to him. She said to him, "You told me you would get these things." And he yelled at her, "I told you I will." Of course, his timing and when he would do it was all about him. So rule number 1 with narcissists at Christmas time is don't rely on a narcissist to help you. Be prepared to do it all alone and even clean up afterwards. It's just the way it is. Number 2 is thoughtlessness towards others. During her first Christmas together with Christopher, Mary was astounded at how he made no effort to buy his family and even his children presents. She found herself stepping in and organising it for him and also paying for many of the presents for his family herself. She was also shocked to see that every gathering that they went to, Christopher never made one suggestion of taking anything for the host. Mary insisted on doing this and organised the gifts and the wine to take. When Mary had people over for holiday festivities, Christopher didn't offer to contribute in any way to the entertaining. Narcissists are incredibly selfish when it comes to thinking of others gifting them or contributing to festivities. They are uber entitled and expect others to provide everything for them. Unless, of course, there's a love bombing agenda which is attached to that, trying to win people over. So rule number 2 with narcissists is let narcissists bear the consequences of their own selfishness. Don't take them to events to provide them with free feeds. As we know with narcissists, don't feed the narcissist. Detach. Okay, so number 3 sneaky thing that they can do over Christmas is abandon you. So for the rest of us, it's a very natural and normal thing at Christmas to want to connect with our nearest and dearest and share time together. To normal people, special events signal a time of love and togetherness. And partners and spouses of narcissists want to love and be loved by their other half. And children want to celebrate with their parent, even a narcissistic parent. Craig was so looking forward to Christmas and spending time with his love, Gemma. Gemma seemed uneasy coming into Christmas, and even though they'd booked to go to Bali, Gemma kept telling him the week before Christmas that she was second-guessing their relationship. She wasn't sure about it. 2 days before Christmas, he was so relieved because she was happy and told him that she was looking forward to their trip together. But then on Christmas morning, she left the house and she was not there by the time he had to leave for his nearby parents' house for their Christmas lunch. He texted her to meet him there. She never replied or turned up. When he returned, he saw that she'd taken her things and left. A month later, she returned and tried to resume a relationship with him as if nothing had happened. So why do narcissists do this stuff? In addition to the other reasons why narcissists dislike Christmas, they also hate being accountable and being forced into routines that minimalize them to become ordinary people, which is just so repugnant to a narcissist. They like being non-accountable and never having to fit into other people's boundaries or desires. So narcissists will often make promises for Christmas and then cause issues, giving them the reason to desert, or they will disappear altogether, not to be heard of, not only to escape the festivities, but to punish people that they deeply resent, which is those who can enjoy Christmas, knowing that they will then be grief-stricken and unable to enjoy that time. So rule number 3 at Christmas time with a narcissist is simple. If a narcissist wants to leave this Christmas, let them. If they try to come back, don't agree to it. Number 4 sneaky thing They will ice you out. Christine and her children were unwrapping presents together and trying to be happy, yet you could cut the air with a knife. Peter was sulking and making comments under his breath when he was walking past, and for the most part, he sat in another room. Even when he joined them for Christmas lunch, he was blatantly checked out. Christine's heart sank as she made excuses to the children for him and tried to keep the mood happy and alive for their benefit. If the narcissist cannot be the centre of attention, he or she will refuse to participate, and if the moods of everybody else can be affected, then that's an even better result for them. Even their own children, sadly, are game. They're fair game to that. It's sad. So rule number 4 this Christmas, get on with your good cheer and your day regardless of what the narcissist is or isn't doing, and make it as happy for yourself and others as possible. Sneaky thing number 5 is causing disruption and fights. Nicole was watching the family drama unfold as it did every Christmas. Her brother Jeremy always goaded somebody until they would fight back with him. Then he would twist the details, insist that they were being out of line and they were the problem. Then other family members would jump in trying to get that family member to back down and leave it alone, knowing that confronting Jeremy was a no-go zone. And then Jeremy would use that opportunity to play divide and conquer with other family members as well. Everything was a mess again, as it was every Christmas. When narcissists feel that other people are receiving the joy and festivities that they can't enjoy, they can act out and lash out with the intention of upending the entire gathering. So rule number 5 this Christmas is make plans without volatile, hostile drama kings and queens. Leave them to their own devices at Christmas time. So sneaky thing number 6 is make disparaging remarks about presents. Eden had brought her father a replica of a car that was his pride and joy many years ago. When he unwrapped it, he yelled at her, "Why would you buy that for me? To remind me of my age? Well, I don't want it." And he pushed it away. Eden's heart broke. She was devastated. She put so much thought and effort into buying her father something that finally she thought he might appreciate. This is a terrible way the narcissist can rage at others who he or she feels can receive what they can't, namely happiness and enjoying life. So rule number 6, if this happens to you from a narcissist, no, it's not about you, it's the narcissist stuff. Better still, organise Kris Kringle so that the gifts are anonymous. I'm a big fan of Kris Kringle, and that's another reason why it's so great. So what can we do about the narcissist this Christmas? If we were to blanket it and really pin it down, what can we do? The best thing you can do is exactly the same thing we always need to do with narcissists. Detach, don't feed them energy. The more you try to pin them down, hold them to things and involve them, the worse everything gets. You're feeding them a great narcissistic supply. So instead, ignore the narcissist, get on with the festivities yourself, and don't get sucked into their pity pit or victimised, blaming, dumping and trying to pull you down. If you have children, do your best to stay upbeat for your kids and ignore, how awful it is that the narcissist doesn't care about anyone, including his or her children. Just let that go. It would be usual, of course, for you to feel hurt and really sad for your kids, but just really try to let that go so that you can be present for them. Because when you release all of your expectations about what the narcissist should or shouldn't be doing for Christmas, for you, your children, your family, your friends, it's going to grant you so much more space inside you and freedom to enjoy this time. Remember, narcissists only win when somebody else is losing. So just don't be a loser this Christmas. Make it your best Christmas ever, regardless of what the narcissist is or isn't doing. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to learn more about how to heal for real from toxic relationships and narcissistic abuse, you can sign up to my free 16-day recovery course, which includes an invitation to a healing workshop with me, a set of ebooks, and lots more. So to access these, just click the link at the top right of this video. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you like and subscribe so you get notified as soon as each new video is released. So until next time, keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there's nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.